boom, boom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the first thing we gotta do is clap it up. We gotta clap it up. Yes, you watching the video, let's clap it up with me. Clap it up for Criterion, because this mode is the best, most fun, most action-packed mode that I've ever played in a racing game. Hands down. I'm talking from every racing game that I've ever played, right? Horizon 5, I'm talking Crew Motorfest. Out of every single racing game that I've played, this is the mode right here. They took GTA 5 Heist and they combined it with Unbound gameplay, with Need for Speed gameplay. Don't even get me started on the bike. Don't even get me started. When I first got the bike for the first time, I hopped in that thing said, I was like, ah! Like, I was going crazy. The bike, we're going to talk about the bike more, but it's like, it's so smooth, but so like loose at the same time. And I'm not saying pause for that, but it's like you're driving a car at 100% sensitivity, but it's sticky to the ground. Like, it's so crazy, y'all. It's so crazy. This right here is what the game should have been from day one. If cop chases and everything felt like how they felt in Lockdown, this game would be #1 in everyone's hearts for sure. They didn't say that they buffed the cops, but they 100% did buff the cops. This game mode, I cannot give it enough praise. I really cannot. They really cooked on this one. Everybody that doubted them, including myself, hey, I gotta apologize for that, because I did not know about your game. I did not know you was capable of this. I was not familiar with your game, Criterion. I was not familiar with it. Boom. Fit check, right? Fit check, fit check. All right, so this is not a uniform shirt. This is not a uniform shirt. For everybody that's saying I'm always in my uniform shirts, this is not a uniform shirt. This is a workout shirt, okay? Workout shirt. Then we got the Blue Dewey. Blue Dewey. I may have the waves, y'all will never know. I may be bald, bro. I don't know. Shoot, y'all never find out. And then we got the Nike Tech pants. Let's get into the video though. I got a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. So I have spent a cool 5 hours on the game, and the first thing I want to congratulate Criterion on is finally implementing a good way of doing risk versus reward. In this game mode, you truly feel like you can lose all your progress in a split second. Racers have the option to either get some money, get a car to extract with, and play it safe by getting on the first truck home, or they can stick it out all the way until the end when there is one final truck to board. If you don't make it on that truck, all your money is gone, and the car you try to extract with is as well. On top of this, there is a 24-hour time period where you can't even use the car anymore. I'm still not 100% sure if this is in-game time or real-world time, but let me tell y'all, seeing that red 24-hour bar over your car hurts in your heart. I am telling y'all, you want to get on that truck, and it may seem easy, and it might be for you until you run into a well-coordinated team. The longer you stay in the world, the harder it gets, and the more aggressive it seems the cops become. The lockdown zones increase their range until the entire map is filled, and it is completely dark. I kid y'all not. The visibility that you get when the lights of the city go out is close to none. Even with your car's lights on full blast, you can't see nothing. It might be because I'm an old head pushing the age of 65, but I couldn't see jack. And it gets even worse the faster you go when driving the bike. More on that later. In the lockdown zones, you become an instant Heat 5 wanted level, and the pressure from that can really be felt. Cops are everywhere, and the moves they do are a lot more tactical and targeted than modes like Gauntlet and in Free Roam. Sure, the cash that can be collected is more, but so is the damage you take. The bike is the exception, but if you are in any type of car, whether it has been stolen or your starter car, you will take damage while being in the lockdown zones, on top of any damage you receive from other players, cops, and objects. One other small thing I want to talk about is another repercussion if you do not extract. Every time you extract, you are able to use a higher tier of car, and it builds towards a streak towards your next lockdown playthrough. For instance, when you extract once, you can now start with an A tier car instead of a B tier car. But it does not matter if you only miss an extraction one time. If you miss an extraction at any point, your streak resets and all your progress is gone. You must start at the bottom again and drive in a B tier car. This may not sound bad at first, but it can get bad very quickly when dealing with other racers and cops, as well as when races spawn in and you are trying to get the first place prize. Now, they do give players the option to kind of respawn and get another chance if you do die, but even then you can still lose all your money and start from the bottom once again. This mode really has players think of what is worth it and what is not. Me personally, I have been on both sides of the coin where we have extracted the first chance we get, and we have also waited until the last truck to maximize profits and make sure we got the best car loot. Pick your poison type of thing, right? get less money and be safe, or get more money and have the entire world after you. But one thing I will tell you is you better be on the truck when it comes, or everything you have done will be for nothing. No cash, no car, nothing. The PVPVE in this game mode is handled great as well. You go against cops and other racers alike, and this includes the car tier races that will periodically show up when doing lockdown. In the city, you can target other racers and total them out, and every big hit you do on them, you get a portion of the money they have banked up. It doesn't matter what car they are in, you can take it for yourself if you are able to knock their health down to 0. This includes the bike, which is pretty hard to do considering how nimble and fast it is, but it is possible. Nobody is safe, and that is amazing that Criterion really leaned into the PvP aspect. Racers can use pursuit tech just like the cops can in Hot Pursuit, and this includes against other teams in the lockdown. It is 5 teams of 3 players, and from all the games I have played, it is handled well and has a lot of action between the teams. You got people EMPing other people, you got spike strips that can be placed in races and can pop other racers' tires, you can even steal a blacklist vehicle while another team is trying to get it from the compound. There is so much to do, but the one thing I do wish was they included the risk versus reward of pursuit tech affecting your teammates as well. As it stands right now, the tech only affects racers on other teams, but I think it would have given players another level of thinking and planning if the tech affected them as well. Jacking rides is a huge thing in this game mode, and it's awesome that when you do it and extract with it, you can use another player's car for 24 hours. How you jack another person's ride is by depleting their health bar, and when they are totaled out, you can swap your car with theirs. This can be done to anyone. It does not matter what car they have, what tier it is, or if it is a car or a bike. I have never had my car jacked, so I am not sure what happens on the other side of that, but I have seen every single person who I stole their car from leave the game immediately. So I think it's a game over on their screen. All the money is gone, your car is gone, and now another racer in the Unbound community has your car. This really gives players that urge to go hunting for others, and it doesn't help that a rival player can become the most wanted in the server, meaning they have a huge target on their back. Now, there are cars scattered around the world to switch with the original car you have, so that's a choice as well, but in my opinion, it is always more fun to track somebody down and steal their car. The car you steal also comes with their build and whatever drive mode they had on it, whether it is grip or drift. We all know that cops are in this game mode, and that is the other side of lockdown, where it's not just players, but cops you need to fight against as well. I have already talked about them being hard, but when you have to fight against other players and the cops as well in the lockdown zones, and when trying to take over the extraction truck, it gets crazy. Those cops hit very hard, especially the Raptors, and when you have them on you and a player in an S+ tier Bugatti trying to EMP you, yes, it can get very crazy. Yes, I did say S+ tier. Every tier of car is an option to use in this game mode. As mentioned before, there are races and other events such as hot laps and drift zones available in the game mode, which is pretty cool to see. These races are tier based, but a bit different from those in free roam. Instead of it being stuck to just one tier, it goes by the rule of any car up to that tier, which means that if the race is for S+, then every player that has a B tier car all the way up to S+ tier cars can participate, which really switches things up for people. The tracks are the same you would normally see in multiplayer and PvP, but the twist is that they can now go through the expanding lockdown zones, and with that comes more challenges with the AI cops and other players. In racing, you can also use every type of pursuit tech and crash other racers out in order to get a better placement or have them low so when the race ends, you can jack their ride easier. I can't tell you the amount of times that I have been hit with an EMP or spike strips when trying to race, and it is such a great feeling to be able to actually have real racing warfare now. It truly feels like Mario Kart when you're dodging a bunch of special attacks as well as trying to get around other racers. One thing I must praise them on is the transition from the end of a race to free roam again. It is literally almost instant, and the only time you really have to wait is when others are far behind in a race or when you were given a loaner car because your car you currently had was too high tier for a race. It is straight back to the action, and it is vastly superior to the transition in the story mode where your car would sit there with the cops behind you and then it would force you into a pursuit chase. Due to these transitions now, if a race ends in a lockdown zone, then you better get to moving because you now have a target on your back. There is no option to rest. The lockdown zones were briefly talked about in other sections of this video, but I do want to touch on them for a split second before we move on to other things. These zones have been done very well, and it really captures the atmosphere of you being a on-the-run convict very well. The city is dark, there are cops all over the place, the rewards are higher, the setting is darker and more pronounced, And the fact your car has a new aura around it when driving and entering them is cool as well. The damage you take in them is not too game changing, but you could definitely find yourself in a situation where your car is super low and the game becomes pretty dangerous at that point due to the lockdown zones. As said before, they will continuously spread over the map until the entire map is covered. From that point on, the game is dark and you are in a constant heat 5. Yes, you have the option to escape the cops, but as soon as you are spotted again, which will happen, you are back at heat 5 and the cops come charging after you. I really cannot express to you all how they have captured the real feeling of being an outlaw and trying to escape a large force like how it's done in lockdown. Now the bike is a cool addition to the game and it feels really sticky to the ground, but it's super maneuverable as well. It feels exactly how a bike should feel, and that's amazing. They really captured how we wanted something like this to feel, and if they keep making bikes like this, then please add more. You can get the bike by going to its icon that will pop up on the map and then switching with it. Yes, you can extract with the bike and it will stay in your garage for 24 hours. This means that you can use it immediately when you start a new game in S Plus based on the number of extractions that you have had previously. We talked about that earlier. This thing is a beast, super fast, and nothing can catch it. However, if you brake too hard, you will flip, and it is easy to lose control, so be careful when trying to fly through areas. The bike is immune to lockdown zone damage, so that's another great thing, and you do not have to pay $100,000 to get into the areas with the special cars due to how it can squeeze through the hole in the gate, which I thought was interesting. It's like a give and take where you have the best lockdown vehicle in the game, but if you want to have the new car, you kind of got to give it up, even though you don't have to pay for it. The contracts you get and can do is great as well, as they seem to be reasonable missions that can be done anyway when playing. The one mission I kind of have a thing about is the Racer X one, where you have to have airtime because the seconds on it seem to be very long, and it seems to take forever to complete, but every other mission is great. There are different tiers of contracts, and you even have contracts for the special blacklist cars that they have advertised, including the M3 GTR. Now, the big problem with these is that they have the same problem where if you complete an objective, the game will freeze and lag for a bit, which can get very annoying very quickly. Also, there seems to be a glitch, or when your teammates have the same contract as you, the bar for all of them fills up, because sometimes I won't be actively participating in completing a mission for a contract, however the bar will still fill up and be completed. I don't know, who knows, but the bottom line is these contracts are great and they did not fumble here. No more of those drive 200 miles per hour missions, we got practical missions now. One last thing I want to talk about is the extraction. I love it. A truck will appear on the map and that is the only way to win the game mode. If you don't get the truck, you lose and all your progress is reset. Now, it may seem easy, however, the truck is also seen by every other team on the map as well. And when one team is trying to get the truck, it is announced for everyone and encouraged for everyone for them to steal the truck for themselves. The truck works based off of a capture the flag system, where it will have an area around it that you need to stay in to fully capture it as yours. Other teams can also get in this circle, and depending on how many teammates you have in there, the bar will either fill up with the team color that you have or an opposite team color. Once the truck is filled, you can extract with all your loot and the car you have. If the other team loses, then they need to find another truck, or if that's the last truck of the session, then the game is over. Overall, I'm still early into the game mode and have not explored every single thing, but they cooked here. I'm still a firm believer that they watch my videos and have used some of the ideas we have all come up with, but since I can't prove it, oh well. For everyone who has played the game mode, let me know down in the comments how you like it. For those who have not yet, I strongly recommend you to go play it. It is the best thing I've played in a minute. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to go ahead, drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.